I have to say I actually like what I'm seeing. And no, I'm not some weird twisted guy that loves seeing red in the crypto market, but I have loved that we've gone back to a kind of a full reset in terms of XRP. And I want to show you guys exactly what I mean. The bears have definitely been back. They've been trying to push things down in the market, but has it in fact gotten us to a point where we can see one of our bigger extensions yet? So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So this is an ugly candle day kind of across the crypto market. Right now it's exactly 7 a.m. and the US market has woke up, and of course they've decided to sell. They've followed the overnight trend, and of course this has brought us, down in terms of price of XRP and assets throughout the space. Just for some context, XRP is down about 4% on today's daily candle. Many other assets are down 4, 5, 6% or so. For example, ADA is actually down 6.85%, erasing some of the gains that it's seen over the last week and a half or so. But right now we're actually in a pretty comfortable spot. XRP is actually sitting right on top of its 50-day moving average. Hopefully this holds as the day progresses. We're getting sandwiched between our 20 and our 50-day. And if you guys haven't noticed, every single one of these days here, we were trying to get back above that 20-day and we couldn't close candles above there. There wasn't enough volume over the course of the weekend. We had the bears kind of stepping in and trying to push things down. And in fact, when we're looking at open interest for XRP, we're back to this weird imbalance, 14% weighted to the bearish side of things. In fact, we've had some pretty big liquidations over the last just 12 hours alone. $16.79 million worth of liquidations on the long side for XRP, 164,000 on the short side. So yeah, longs have kind of been getting crushed as we've gotten into the early part of the week. We're seeing this for ADA. We're seeing this for BTC. We're seeing this for XRP, kind of across the space. Now, what I will say is that BTC dominance is still kind of holding comfortable levels. We're actually sitting at a spot right now where we're below that 59.85%. We've retested it almost every single day. And we're trying to see here if we're going to get, a BTC dominance bounce and maybe rally back up to about 61% or so, or is this kind of our rejection and extension down? I will say, looking at last market cycle, when we were in the midst of this cliff here, there was a lot of chop, a lot of ups and downs before we really made these extended moves down where alts had a lot of fun. Okay. Now I will say in terms of XRP, there's something that I'm really liking in the charts. When we look at this daily stochastic RSI, I love tracking this. This seems to be very accurate when it comes to when we're going to see retracements and when we're going to see extensions in terms of price. And what we've come down to now is the oversold range yet again. Currently, this sits at a 6.81, which is incredibly low. It's almost fully reset. And the last time we did this and came down to these ranges, you guys can see that was when XRP was going through its pretty significant dip in the early part of August. We're actually doing a very similar thing from a structural standpoint here. Could this in fact be the moment where XRP flips around and starts to make another extension to the upside? Possibly. We'll have to watch, wait, and see what happens here. I will say in terms of weekly stochastic RSI, we have not gotten our bullish cross yet as well. This is coming down to about the 50 range, so very close to midway. So what we've just done for XRP and other assets across the crypto market is given ourselves a lot of room to work with. Okay. And that's the fun part of this. Now, with us actually still following this big right angle broadening descending wedge, we've also, because we've gone lower, given ourselves more room to work to the upside here. For those that aren't familiar, the targets on these ranges tend to be about from the bottom of the dip to the top of the trend. So this is actually now our target, which is up at about $3.80. Would obviously be a new all-time high. That would get us into price discovery. Not saying this has to happen for sure, but that's how things are at least setting up around the crypto space right now. So what we need to see today to really just continue looking strong is to see BTC kind of bounce around this 50-day moving average, close its daily candle around there. If it's not going to get an extended bounce, we need to see Ethereum showing strength at about 42.50 or so, getting good bounces off of there. It's kind of everything needs to work together now. Okay. It might sound kind of weird, but that's what we're doing. We're making these moves across the space together as we're waiting for the market to decide, hey, do we see some more retracements to the downside, or do we flip this around and start moving things the opposite way? Shorts have kind of crept in for many assets across the space. And it's possible that with this red we're seeing early today, that we get them continuing to chase price down, again, start to fill in on that bear trap like we've been talking about here, and then start moving the opposite direction. But that's kind of where we're at. I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts. Mondays, they've been ugly as of late. And we'll just see if we can flip that around maybe later in the day or tomorrow, or just got to pay attention to a few things. We obviously have Zelensky coming to the White House to talk to Donald Trump. Hopefully some positivity comes out of that. Later in the week, we have the Jackson Hole Symposium. So the Fed is going to be speaking there. So we'll see what happens. But have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.